All right, my song wasn't quite as long as my countdown. That's all right because we're back with an office hours. I'm gonna tell a little bit of story here. It's been a crazy summer. We've launched new programs. It's called Prime 49. We'll tease that here in just a little bit. We have continued our incredible bonus structures. We've been in Miami. We've been in Chicago. We have met with our partners. We've taken them to Chicago Cubs games at Wrigley Field, where the Cubs absolutely demolished the Detroit Tigers and are continuing their drive to first place. And Pete Crow Armstrong, yes, he is our MVP. But also this summer, I had a variety of other things happen to me myself. I was on vacation, out of town, not at my hometown here in Indianapolis, Indiana. Started to not feel so great. Long story made very short, ended up in the hospital for 5 days, had a few inches of my intestine taken out, and now I'm back at a full recovery. You can take my intestines. You can make me not be able to walk. You can make things be incredibly difficult, but I will fight through. PayProTec will fight through, and we are still 100% committed to our partners seeing and reaching their goals in this payments world and seeing them grow their residuals and grow their
Unbeatable. You have Pete Crow Armstrong head to head with Shohei Ohtani for the National League MVP. So it is fun. I did have one regret this morning though when I noticed the graphic that I'm sure you politely and thoughtfully designed makes me and Jenny look toothless. Um, so we'll get you back
no.
somehow. We'll get Josh
Hey,
to help us
hey,
one day.
Mike
but
and I have
no.
all of our teeth.
Yeah, well, no,
But
They're
it
there.
it makes you look like
looks
you're
funny though.
wearing an incredible grill. That is it,
There we go.
Oh,
and it's the AI cartoon view of you. So you got to remember
it's
that's
really
this is
funny actually.
not the view. So and I didn't recognize that, and I actually did that. We were supposed to do this last week, so that graphic I did
Ah,
like 9 days ago. So I don't even remember it anymore.
it's funny.
So but all right. So we're going to talk about 5 things that you may have missed over the summer that we want to make sure that you have stayed up to date on as a PayProTech partner. And so the first one really kind of is how we jumped into summer. We launched it in May, really went full bore in the right after the Memorial Day holiday is the introduction of the P line fully up and running on EPX. And so I don't, Mike and Jenny, we didn't really go ahead to who was going to take these, but so I'll let you guys, whoever jumps up first, tell us a little bit about the P line and what we're seeing from our partners as they're using the P8. And we've had a few of the P18s placed, I know, and we're seeing more and more of people using the Deja Vu portal and being able to do the. And I just talked to someone who's putting the ACH, and they're all doing all kinds of things. What are you hearing about the P line, and why are partners excited and what they're able to do with the P line?
Do you have a good take on this one, Jenny, or no?
I do,
All right.
because I have some sales partners. I have actually quite a few sales partners that are really just jumping into this to the deep end. And so far,
I thought of the one example of this is we have a merchant who it's a fried chicken place, and evidently they want thick glass in front of them, and so they have the terminal inside, which is the P18 because they have a pretty big menu, and then we ran a pin pad to the outside. At that point, they can also email or text them a receipt. Everything
mhm.
goes, and they've been off and running ever since. And knock on wood, we've not heard a thing. But right off the bat, is something I learned that yes, we can pair a pin pad with a P18.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah, and there is so many more things that are yet to come with the P
Yeah,
series. The P line is not new to the payments world. It's been around for around 18 months. But it was obviously new for us getting certified in EPX for us to be able to use it. And what we're seeing is our partners really love the ease of use. And we have a few partners that have gone ahead and just bought multiple devices, and they're going out, running into businesses, signing them up, getting them approved and getting them up and running and processing within minutes a lot of times, because if you can get that approval, you have a high credit score, the things that make those approvals happen in minutes, and you can get our team to work on it. Or a lot of them are being set up with their own subcons, so you can set up your own terminals and being trained on that. It's just there is a whole world of opportunity there, and the P line is not just what happened during the summer. It's going to continue to grow, and we're seeing more and more of our people using it. And we'll talk about the P line a little bit more, but I want to bridge over to one other thing that's happened, and that is in May we launched a new bonus structure through the end of second quarter, and then we got to the end of the second quarter and we said, nah, let's do it to the third quarter too. And Mike, can you walk us through what the new bonuses are? And I can guarantee it is not going past the third quarter. So you want to push on this, and really you want to work right now, because if you are working hard right now, these bonuses will fully pay and activate, but before Christmas and the holidays. Mike, what are the new bonuses that we've been able to keep going through the third quarter?
That is a great point that these are going to pay in time for Christmas. That's awesome. So the new bonus is a $700 upfront bonus after the merchant activates, which means processing $300 of Visa and MasterCard transactions, you'll receive that bonus in 2 business days. Also, we have added, let me back up that $700. There is no restriction right now at this time as to what piece of equipment you use. There was the restriction before about pay anywhere, that gets that higher bonus, and everything else is a little lower. But right now, we're honoring this for all equipment because we are really excited about the Deja Vu P line. And so you're going to get that same bonus no matter what you're using. So the second portion of that Nate talked about paying out before the holidays would be that peak true up bonus. And what we're doing now is multiplying that times 16. Again, take that first full month of processing profit, multiply it times 16, subtract off the upfront bonus of $700. We're going to pay you that difference. That multiplier of 16 is really big. Take, again, an account that's even $30,000 on edge. You may be looking at an entire bonus of close to $5,000 for what we might have considered just an okay account. You might have thought, oh, I got a $30,000 account. That's great. When you're multiplying it times 16 instead of 12, it's good stuff. So, again, like Nate said, till the end of the third quarter, let's keep pushing and make it happen. There are people making a lot of money and they're excited about it. Some people have said, let's run some accounts on the bonus. Normally, I use my higher split and purchase that equipment, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to run these on bonus while the bonus is higher, and I might use some of that bonus money I've earned extra to purchase equipment and go back to my higher split. If you have questions about thinking through some of those things, give us a call. Me, Jenny, any of our sales folks or our relationship managers can help you decide what you want to do about that and kind of walk you through and help you through a real example if you want to.
Love it. And I am so excited about these bonuses, because if you work really hard in August, you could see some capped out bonuses. So for
Yeah.
Pay Anywhere, it caps out at 10K. There is and for all the other equipment, it caps out at 5K. But we're seeing a lot of these 5K and 10K, more than we've ever seen, because the 16X gets there. And you can start getting some of these money. Man, how if you could get 5 or 6 of these accounts, or you do more, we're welcome. You go ahead, do more. But if you can do 5 or 6 in the next couple weeks, and they cap out, and man, Christmas is going to look really good to you. And so these
Mhm.
bonuses are, they can't live forever. It pushes our ROI, but we can incentivize for certain parts of the time. And the more you use them, and the more the merchants stay with us, the more chances we can continue to do these type of things in the future. Now, number three is one that I will take this one, and I don't know, Mike and Jenny, I don't know how much you've interacted, but it's with Food Hub. And really, you can go look at our POS Unleashed playlist on our YouTube channel, and you'll see that I did an interview with their team at Food Hub not too long ago. I think it was the last week of April. And what I am more and more excited about, and I'll use one of our partners, is that what we're seeing is several of our partners have gotten a hold of Food Hub's kiosk and are just walking in to Toast and Square users and saying,
Mm,
"Hey, you don't even have to switch to us. I can get you up and running with this kiosk." And they integrate directly into Toast. And then we're starting to see this transition where they can go right from the kiosk, and then they ditch the Toast and go all with Food Hub, because Food Hub is a full point of sale, but it started as a in the UK, really as kind of a DoorDash competitor for a like parallel. And as they've built all the other systems, they've built everything you would need in a restaurant and hospitality POS. And one of the things they've done is, when they came to the US market, they took their kiosk, and one of the first things it is, they integrated into Toast. In fact, it's the most used Toast kiosk integration that you can have out there. And you can actually go to Toast. And so all the dollars that are run through the Toast system are processed through Toast. But if they're using kiosk, you know who can process those dollars? You can. And then you can start
Mm,
proving to them that you can actually transition them
mm,
not
mm,
to a
mm.
whole Food Hub system. And Food Hub's excited to do this. In fact, their team, when I was with them talking at their booth at MWAA, said, man, if we have some, they're actually flying out and going to a couple of our offices and going to go door to door with them to help them solidify these sales. It's a really cool tool. Food Hub's fully up and on EPX. They have lots of other features for this kiosk thing. Mike and Jenny, I didn't ask you ahead of time on anything. Have you had any of our talked to any of our partners that are talking to Food Hub, and have you interact? Anything you want to add?
I haven't. Oh, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Well, I was just say I have not had a lot of interaction about it. The information we have on mypayprotec.com is fairly thorough. Um, there's only a couple things there, but they're fairly thorough and lengthy. I know that the time that I've spoken to Alex from the POS Pros, he's excited, uh, and I think it's going to be a good thing. That thing you just explained, I had no idea. You're kind of sneaking in the side door with them and proving yourself. I love it. So no, I've not had a lot of interaction yet. It has not had. We have not had a lot of push yet. I don't think on it. So I look forward to that and having another thing to offer to our folks.
Well, and that's part. Ian, their sales enablement teammate is a guy named Ian. He spent, don't quote me on this, but I think it was like 15 years as the head of sales enablement at NCR and for their Aloha inside sales. So he knows sales to
Ooh.
restaurants. And now he's working our Food Hub, and he really wants to help our partners learn how to sell. And so we're going to be he will be on this show in the coming weeks. We're working on emails right now. It'll probably be right after Labor Day is my guess. But just know that we're going to be talking about Food Hub, and I wanted to make sure. The other thing I wanted to make sure that you are aware of is that the P line has a completely seamless integration with Enroll and Pay, your loyalty software that works really, really well. And we're seeing Assad Brown and several of our offices that are you just roll in with a free 60 days of Enroll and Pay. And Brian and Dana, I think Dana will be joining us. They're going to be on our here in our coming weeks to show. And I'm putting Mike and Jenny on the spot. Mike, did you go get a demo of how it works on the P line when you were at MWA? Because Jenny, I know you weren't able to see that.
I did not. I was talking to the guys about it at dinner the one night, but no, I did not see
Yeah.
it live.
Well, here's the nice thing about it. Like before, when you're in on other terminals, how the APIs and the SDKs work is you have to have a different type of payments software that actually then. So you can't, like with the QD2 and QD4 in the Deja Vu world, you can't use the Aura, you have to use the Enroll and Pay app, and so you lose some of the features that are built into the software. With this one, and Deja Vu allowed them to build it right into the software. So you're just using just like you would use any other time. And if you have the little toggle button turned on, when you scan a credit card that's never been used on that terminal before, it asks, hey, do you want to enroll? We'll give you 10% off today or 5%, whatever that merchant chooses to do. And they put their phone number in, and boom, you're capturing and putting them into the enrollment, and it makes Enroll and Pay work. We'll be talking more about this. It is, I have somewhere on my computer here, I have a video of how it works, but it is a seamless integration, and I'm excited for them. And we've seen multiple of our partners. So, and the other thing that they're doing is you don't have to call it Enroll and Pay. As they roll it out in this, they are white labeling it for our partners. So I know True North and Core Payments have already white labeled it. So when they're selling the P line, the loyalty payments is their payment system. The loyalty program is their system. It's not ours. It's not Enroll and Pays. It is True North payments and Core Payments. And I know a few of the others have done this too. And that's going to be something that's really cool. And we'll talk more about that in the weeks to come. And something you can ask as you are doing the P line, and we can connect you with Dana and Brian and their team. They're doing some really cool things. Last, I'm going to get both Mike and Jenny to do this one. The fifth thing that you may have missed over the summer is Prime 49. And we've been slow rolling this out to our partners. But coming this Tuesday at 2:00, you'll get an email here later this afternoon. Every one of our partners are invited to become a Prime 49 partner. Jenny first, then Mike. Jenny, can you give us a basic overview? I'm putting you on the spot of what Prime 49 is. You've been doing some of the main training on this.
It's super exciting. So, what if we took our dual pricing structure and made it a little bit different so that the business owner would receive a little bit of kickback from the earnings that they're passing from that extra percentage to the customer? So, we put them up to 5%. The sweet spot on the flat rate is going to be a 4.7528. You don't have to memorize that now. I just trained this a lot, so I have it down by memory. But with that, from a sales partner's perspective, we can still keep our profit margin, but then we have an incentive for the merchant to come sign with us, and just like another selling tool. It separates us from the rest, right? This is a world of surcharging and dual pricing. This is not a new concept anymore. So we have something different that our sales partners can go take to merchants. So if they still want to save their money, perfect, use our edge. If they want to save their processing fees and get a little bit extra, we have another program for you that we'll tell you a lot more details about next week. So it's really, really exciting.
All right, and Mike, I'll let you add what as you've been boarding our first partners that are getting their Prime 49. And
Yeah.
again, we're going to do another Prime 49 launch for everyone. Join us next week. Jason Lee and Danny will be doing a training on the basics. But Mike, what would you add to Prime 49 as we're teasing it today?
I think, and I've had some good conversation with partners that have kind of heard the bits and pieces of this and have jumped aboard now. But it's not going to be for every merchant. It definitely is not. This is for a merchant where you have the ability to sit down and have an honest conversation with them and talk about how this will benefit them, how this will get them some more free equipment, free software fees. There's a lot of things that go into the program, but there are some extra things for the merchant here, including a nice rebate. I just think you have to deal with a merchant who's willing to make a plunge, as we are, to say, you know what, I'm willing to pass this fee of 5% to my merchants. And a lot of that thought process, from the stories I've heard, comes from Matt Hoskins, who founded PayProTec, and God love him, because a lot of the things that Matt Hoskins throws out have done wonders for this company. We probably don't know all of them because Matt, Danny, and Nate and Billy are designed to help him control himself every now and then if it's a little too crazy. But here's the honest thing. He says everybody else is going down in price because that's what we all do in the
Mm-hmm.
credit card world. Why not go up? And at first you go, what? And then you listen, and that's the same conversation you can have with your merchant. A little different focus than what Matt had with our management team, but the concept is still the same. Let's be different. Let's get you some better advantages over what you're getting now with your current provider, or even better with what you're getting from us currently. So, that person that may have wanted that point of sale system and just didn't want to come up with the extra dollars. There's some approvals going on for free point of sale systems now. We're following the same guidelines, but now you're going to get some free software fees with that as well. And so just come to the meeting and listen with an open mind. And there'll be a recording of this one, I assume, Nate. Before, when we were limited rolling it out, there was not. We weren't ready to do it yet. We wanted to make sure we had all these pieces in place and the machine in place to do what we need to do, and we've done that. So make sure you check it out next week with Danny and Jason Lee.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I will add that what we're seeing here is what we're specifically asking our merchants and our partners to do is to start looking at what they're paying as a whole. And right now, if for card transactions they're paying for $100 bill, they're paying 104. Their customer is. Would they will they notice that they pay 105? The answer is no. We've done this enough times; they won't notice. The price will be there. One, it's never perfectly even, so they don't notice the difference between 104 and 105 because it's something like 23. If they're 100, if they're a $500 transaction, it's a difference between $23.66 and $27.22, and there's changes that they don't even notice. But then, if they can do that in their business, we're going to give them 4 pillars of incredible value back to them, because we're going to create that value. Not only are we going to be able to create more margin for you, our partners, and more margin for PayProTec, but we're going to be able to create margin so we can invest back in them to things like, again, no processing fees that they're paying. In fact, the equivalence of being able to take those cards and not actually pay any extra and not lose money every time they accept a card. We're going to be able to cover most, if not all, of those SaaS fees, those monthly fees for Payments Hub, those monthly fees for Quick, those monthly fees for Greta POS. We did a Greta POS recently on this program. In fact, we're going to do an interview on that here hopefully soon. You're not going to have those
Awesome.
SaaS fees. You're not going to have the third pillar of upfront fees for that hardware. And we're usually able to, obviously if a $10,000 merchant we can't give them 10 stations, but the average merchant, we're going to cover nearly all, if not all of all their upfront fees for that hardware. And lastly, when they're done processing, the more they process, the more we send them back in a rebate every month. So they start seeing those rebates. So come learn about Prime 49. We're excited about being able to launch it, just as I already said. And this has been a slow roll. We've been doing this since the first of the year, and now we're ready to let all of our partners take part. It does involve a little bit of a process to getting up and running, getting trained, and getting your a specific Schedule A, making sure that all those little fees that a lot of times get charged to the merchant get charged back to PayProTec, because we're going to work together and make sure our pricing is right. But we're excited to be able to talk about this. As we close out, I'm going to let Mike and Jenny give us our closing words. We'll be, just so you know, next Friday, we're going to be live again for office hours, not on a Thursday, because I'm traveling on Thursday. So I'm doing it on Friday. But Mike and then Jenny, can you guys give us a quick 30-second closing words and how excited we are as we're back in school season? I know your daughter starts school tomorrow. My kids started
Yes,
today.
sir.
And Jenny's celebrating
You
that
guys are
she
making
doesn't
me
have,
feel old.
I know. And we're way
Remember, I
older
have
than
a
you are, Jenny.
33 and a
So
31-year-old, Jenny.
yes,
Don't forget that.
yeah.
I
So,
do forget that sometimes, Mike.
and I'm just a young chicken.
uh,
I have one kid that doesn't start school anymore, and one that starts college in like 4 weeks, because college doesn't start forever. So, all right, Mike and then Jenny, closing words for this week.
this has been fun, and like you said, it's genuine excitement when Nate put this list together. I'm just like, holy crap. And this is middle of the year stuff. This isn't like, oh, look what we're going to do this year. This is the middle of the year. We're going to take this through the end of the year based on just the 5 things we talked about, between the extra bonus through the third quarter. The P line is an ongoing win. New point of sale systems being introduced. We like to keep different options open. I, I don't know. Thanks, Nate. This is great,
Yeah.
and look forward to next Friday. And I have to say, go Cubs! In case there's any other fans listening, I troll one in particular who's a Reds fan, but it's good. It's exciting. Baseball's going to be fun.
Yes. Go Cubs. And Jenny, what say you?
I'm just super excited about everything that we have to offer. The industry is always changing, it's always growing, and PayProTec, we stay ahead of the game. So we got lots of good stuff coming. And like Mike said, it's just the middle of the year, right? We're going to run with this until December, and then we got new stuff coming again. It's just a cool cycle with PayProTec. So I really, really love it. I don't, I'm from Colorado, and so go Rockies. I know they're not that great. But
You can say
yeah,
it.
just excited for everything. And football's going to start soon. That's what's the big news in
Yes,
my
it
head.
is.
Football season coming. So ready for
Awesome.
fall.
Well, on behalf of Mike Stetzel, Jenny Rickle, I'm Nate Manahan. This has been Office Hours. And today you learned 5 things that you may have missed this summer or just needed to be reminded that are going to help you grow your portfolio, going to help you meet and grow with new merchants, and going to help you grow your payments business. Thanks for being part of the PayProTec family. Thanks for continuing to grow with us, and we'll see you next time on Office Hours. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
See ya.